This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Steve Pugh. President Trump said the U.S. and Iran were resuming talks on Monday, claiming a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and denuclearize Tehran is imminent. Iranian officials, however, have denied participating in direct talks with the U.S., saying they are negotiating with mediators in Oman. The president claims this is Iran's last chance to make a deal.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large.
A key Democratic primary being held in Michigan today. Garrett Tenney reporting from Detroit.
Abdul El Sayed rejects the socialist label, but he is the candidate of choice of the DSA in Michigan's Senate race. He wants to abolish ICE, cut off U.S. aid to Israel, and has made Medicare for All one of his signature campaign issues. Congresswoman Haley Stevens is the moderate establishment-backed candidate, and one of her main arguments on the campaign trail has been that she has never lost a race to a Republican, and she gives Democrats the best shot at holding on to Michigan's Senate seat. The DSA is hoping to make a splash in a couple other races today as well. In Missouri, former squad member Cori Bush is trying to win back her seat from Congressman Wesley Bell, who beat her 2 years ago.
With the midterms approaching, Republicans are asking how to turn the love affair with socialism the Democrat Party seems to be having to their favor. Steve Jordahl has more.
It's not like they're hiding the ball.
We have a city where we are reckoning with the long history of racism here.
To have a democracy, a beacon of hope, turned into one of the worst countries.
Was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression.
Gary Bauer of American Values says Zoran Mamdani, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib want to be the first in a line of democratic socialist candidates that eventually do away with the Constitution and turn America into a socialist state. He says Republicans running against them in the midterms should be just as bold.
I have felt for some time now that the phrase, these people are crazy, is probably a great campaign theme.
He says there's not much Republicans can do in deep blue states.
We are already guaranteed to have a bunch of incumbent Democrats that are in Congress right now being replaced by socialists, and that is going to be a big problem for America going forward.
But in the purple states, the jury's still out, mainly in the Midwest.
The question is, what's going to happen in states where there are Senate races and gubernatorial races, and they are not overwhelmingly Democrat states? And I think the jury is out.
Bauer says Republicans shouldn't be shy about taking on socialism.
It's extremely important that they expose these left-wing candidates for being the crazy people that they are.
I'm Steve Jordahl.
Last week, New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani announced more plans for 5 city-run grocery stores, revealing so-called core items will be sold at a 30% discount. But owners are pushing back. Anthony Pena, the president of the National Supermarket Association, is concerned that other stores won't be able to compete. Texas Congressman Brandon Gill suggests it's an attempt to monopolize the industry.
This is not an attempt to make America or New York City more prosperous. It's not an attempt to promote human flourishing or to do any kind of good for his community. It is purely a weapon that he can use against his political enemies, i.e. taxpayers and business owners.
The Senate Judiciary Committee holding a meeting today on whether or not to nominate Todd Blanche to become the new U.S. Attorney General. Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley of Iowa on why he's supporting Blanche's nomination.
Todd Blanche's Justice Department has reprioritized the safety of Americans after the Biden administration opened borders to violent criminals and then turned a blind eye to heinous crimes that were happening around the country.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildmon and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney Empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Today's Tuesday, August the 4th, 2026. And as always, we thank you for listening to AFR. Joining me in studio this morning is Wesley Wildmon. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning.
Fred Jackson.
Morning to you, Tim.
And Chris Woodward.
Hello.
Now, I mentioned yesterday about, on a personal note, going to the National Baseball Tournament in Lafayette, Louisiana to watch my 10-year-old grandson play and my how old are you?
37.
37-year-old son coach. So, and they brought home the gold. So I give it up.
Yes.
Give it up, clap.
Which is why I wasn't in the office yesterday. I was still celebrating.
You celebrated and got home to finding out your...
Oh, yeah. I came on. My AC was broke in the middle.
So here you are. You won the national championship in baseball for 10-year-olds for this league, the USSSA. Just on cloud nine.
That's right.
Drive 6-7 hours home. Everybody's smiling.
We were.
Get home to your house. It's August the 3rd. Walk in and no AC.
87 degrees when it read inside.
Bring you right back down to earth.
That's right. Yeah, Chelsea walked in and then walked back out.
Would you ever get your AC fixed?
Yeah, they got it fixed this morning.
Okay. Praise God for that. That's just as important as winning a national championship in baseball.
It sure felt like it. When I got the report this morning that we won and our AC's back on, then yeah.
If you don't have an AC Chris, have you ever been out of an AC in August in Mississippi?
I sure have. A couple of years ago, our AC went out, and the guy came to repair it. It turned out, he got it back running, but it was well into the 80s. I think it was probably the upper 80s.
Inside the house?
Inside the house.
Oh, I'm going out.
We actually were without power.
I'm going to the car. I'm going to the car to sleep.
Over the weekend, we were the only house in our little neighborhood that didn't have any electricity, and so we were.
What happened? What happened there? In fact, I don't want to get it personal.
When we had that storm move in Friday night, something happened. I don't know if it was a lightning strike on one of the light poles in our backyard, but it hit our pole, and then we didn't have any power.
Oh, wow.
And then they showed up to help us, but they went to the wrong house and assumed, okay, they're back on, and then they left. And so we
you're
had to
telling me of all the houses in the neighborhood, yours was the one who was struck by lightning?
Yes.
Not your house itself, but the
light pole. My daughter saw sparks coming off the pole.
Would that be, Fred, would that be a case where somebody's not living right?
I was just going to say, do you want to confess?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's something going on
I'll
there.
tell you, it will improve your prayer life. I actually think, how like churches sometimes will recognize veterans or first responders in the congregations? We should take a moment in the Bible Belt here in the South, the Deep South, on Sundays to recognize AC repairmen.
They are. Yeah, we can.
I mean, because when the church AC goes out, they find a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, just like you find, or just like we recognize those that serve in the military, recognize those that...
They're on the front
repairmen on the front line.
I don't know how people did it back in the day here.
That reminds me, back before air conditioning, many churches use the old funeral home fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
The little handheld fans that had the advertisements for the funeral home.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Nova Scotia where most people don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, because you don't need it in the
summer. So when it hits 75, everybody's really, this is really hot. Mm-hmm. But in church, it was the church bulletin.
The bulletin,
yes.
The church
bulletin. The bulletin was the fan.
The bulletin doubled as the fan.
Yes. Yeah, that was the signal to the preacher. 3 points, got to be out of here by noon.
So it wasn't necessarily that it was that hot in there. That was just a signal?
Yeah.
Or both?
Well, it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in that part of the world, when you reach 75 plus, man, this is miserable.
Yeah, the preacher, if you don't have AC in the summertime, anywhere in the country almost, and the preacher goes more than 20 minutes, he's going to get the look, I think, from probably many people.
And if people are sweating, it's not because of conviction.
Yeah. Hey, I want to bring us back. I got one kind of funny. There was a lot of memories made in Lafayette.
You talking about in the baseball tournament?
In the baseball tournament, there was a lot of memories made. We can't do all of them, but two of them that come to mind. One of them's a little more funny. One's a little more spiritual. But
let me set this up for those who don't know. You're the head coach,
right,
of a all-star team that represented North Mississippi that went to Lafayette, Louisiana to compete in a national baseball tournament. So teams from all over the country went down there and had a 5-day tournament, and you guys ended up winning your division.
That's right.
Which was 10 years old in the particular division. So anyway, I just wanted people to know what the background is. Go ahead.
So there was a lot of great baseball, a lot of great coaching, a lot of memories made, a lot of great conversations on the field. And I was talking to the Florida coach pregame, just small talk while the coin's being flipped and their players are taking infield, outfield. And I said, hey, I'm just curious, how'd you put your team together? And he goes, yeah, well, we've played against each other for a little while. We've known each other, so I just kind of took the best of 4 or 5 different teams in the area and put them together. It worked out. We've had a couple practices, and that's, kind of down.
Right,
I said, okay. I said, so where are y'all from? He said, we're all kind of from the same area. I said, well, where's that? He goes, Tampa. And I go, okay, well, that's Tampa, Florida, yeah.
3 million people.
Right,
probably.
yeah. That's what he said. So we're on that little area right there. And I said, okay. He's like, where are y'all from? I said, well, I said, similar in the sense we're made up of about 4 or 5 different teams. We've known each other. That story's all the same for us, too, as well. I said, we're from Tupelo, Mississippi. And he said, where's that? And he was serious. He wasn't
he was serious, yeah.
But it was funny. So the same thing happened with the Ohio coach. They were all most of them were from the Columbus area. So that was funny. And then another memory that was made there was more on the lines of a spiritual thing. One of our assistant coaches, Thomas Riley, he had the idea that after we finished going into the final 4 games, that there were 4 games left. So he shared the story of David and Goliath and how there were 5 stones. He only needed 1. He used 1, and that there were 4 stones left. And some commentators will say they were for his brothers and other things. And he said, well, since he had 4 stones left, we got 4 games left. We got 4 giants we need to face, slay. Before we win the last one. So with each win, we're going to throw a stone away. And we did that, and sure enough, it worked out to where we threw a stone away, and my son Bennett was able to throw the final stone away. He threw it into center field as far as he could and got it in the road. And
so God was on your side.
Well, I wanted to set that up by saying that I'm very conscientious about misleading the kids to believe that a victory has some correlation with your faith or anything like that.
Right.
You can win or lose the outcome. In fact, I'll always say that we do our best and leave the results up to God, and that's including losing, winning or losing. So, but anyways, it did work out. Our coaches did a great job of teaching a lot of lessons from the game of baseball, character building. But those two were very. One was funny and one was really.
I prefer to learn character lessons when you win.
That's right. That's it.
When you lose, character lessons are hard to swallow.
That's right.
I appreciate you mentioning that God still loves you when you lose. Because as a fan of our school,
I
needed that.
That's right.
All right, you're listening to today's issue. Speaking of losers. Anthony Fauci would fall into that category.
Yeah.
Dr. Anthony Fauci. We're going to talk about, we haven't talked about this, what happened last week. He made an appearance before the Congress in a committee, Senate committee hearing, and he took the Fifth Amendment many times.
111 times.
You counted them?
Yes. And Fox did too, because they kept flashing it up there.
So Frank Turek's with us. Frank, you with us there, brother?
I plead the Fifth.
Frank pleads the Fifth, whether he's with us or not, even though he's on the phone. Okay.
I have to get another booster.
Are you mocking Fauci's accent? Where's he from? I don't even know.
He's from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay.
He's from Brooklyn.
He's from Fauci.
I have my 15th booster.
Okay. That's why you have 3 heads.
Yeah.
So what we're about to do, we're going to play a clip here from NFL quarterback. Help me out. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't normally play Aaron Rodgers' commentary on science and health. He's had his own health issues for the last few years. But anyway, he's playing his last year. But Aaron Rodgers is outspoken on some issues, okay? So he was asked on a radio show or a podcast about, he was asked about football, but he decided he didn't want to talk about football. He wanted to talk about Anthony Fauci. So we're going to play this clip just for fun to hear what Aaron Rodgers says, and then we'll get Frank to talk about what Aaron Rodgers is talking about. Go ahead.
Can you tell us about the mindset of coming into your last season? Like, that's a real thing, it feels like, because is everything better? Is everything funner? Is everything more awesome? Like, how do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the 5th.
Okay.
Okay. Gotta love that guy. Like that absolute coward, Tony Fauci. Absolute coward.
Yeah. There,
it's back, baby. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You
times.
got a pardon and you're in front and you pleaded over 100 times at the White House. What are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And how much time did the network spend at that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding? Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
No, I don't think I've heard anything.
I bet they did.
That's. I think that's a Pat McAfee show, probably, isn't it? Okay.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Anyway, that's a popular show and podcast, a Pat McAfee show on ESPN. Well, Aaron Rodgers, did he? What do you think about that, Frank? What he's talking about?
Well, you remember this had to go back to the 2021 season, maybe 2020, maybe 2020, 21
COVID?
season. Yeah, everyone was trying to force everyone to get vaccinated, and he said, I'm immunized. And what he meant by that was he didn't get the vaccine, but...
Tell me about Aaron Rodgers' response to being forced to be vaccinated.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were trying to force him to do it. And he didn't want to put it in his body. This thing hasn't been tested. And, of course, in retrospect, we realize how many negative effects this so-called vaccine had, which really wasn't a vaccine. It was kind of gene therapy. It was never tested. Fauci actually delayed it, so it came out after the election of 2020. He didn't want Trump getting any credit for it. Turned out that he wanted, apparently, Biden to win, because remember, Trump had that Operation Warp Speed to try and get a vaccine for this thing.
Right.
And meanwhile, it wasn't just Fauci doing this kind of nefarious stuff, trying to shut everybody up, but his boss, Francis Collins, who claims to be a Christian, was actively suppressing Stanford-trained epidemiologists from saying, hey, we don't think this is a good idea. And even the Biden administration was putting pressure on social media platforms to censor people who were saying the vaccine has problems. And this is what Aaron Rodgers is pointing out now. And we know it has had problems, and we know that certain heart conditions have been triggered by this vaccine. And Rodgers, for a football player, was right five years ago when all this happened, and now he's basically taken a victory lap.
I want to ask you this. I did not watch the hearings. Raise your hand if
You
you
didn't
did.
miss anything.
I just saw clips. Fred, you watched most of it? Or?
Most of it, yeah.
Okay, my question is, hey, Frank, did you watch a lot of it?
I watched probably the first half hour until he kept saying, on the advice of my counsel.
Okay, yeah,
I'm going to take the 5th. It's like he wasn't going to say anything. But notice, Tim, he started out with like a 5-minute opening statement. Mm-hmm. What happened to the 5th Amendment there?
Right.
And he's already got a pardon. Why is he taking the 5th?
That's a good point. So, Fred, that's my question, in only seeing the highlights or lowlights, if you call it, of Dr. Anthony Fauci's appearance there before the Senate committee. Why did he take the Fifth Amendment so many times? That's just what was the reason for that?
Well, it was because the Republicans came up with his diary, part of their investigation into what happened during
Not his
COVID.
personal diary about what he had for dinner.
No, this
but
is
his
what
professional
he kept,
diary.
What he kept on his government computers.
Okay, it wasn't a personal diary that somebody seized.
No. It was all about during the toing and froing, and some of the entries that he put on his computer. I'm a rock star. Look, this one's talking about me. This one. It certainly, what it unveiled was a guy with a massive ego and believing that he had so much power, and he was given a lot of power.
And he did say, I am science. He did say that.
I am science. And what it also revealed, this diary, was that basically he was admitting it came from a lab, and it was a confession of some type that the skeptics about what he was doing at the time and what he was saying at the time, the skeptics were right.
But what he was saying, Anthony Fauci, you guys feel free to jump in here. What he was saying, what is revealed in these diary entries is that what he was saying publicly was behind in private. He was he was inconsistent on what he was saying. For example, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who was, by the way, he was the #1 infectious doctor in the country. I forgot what the title is. Center for.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, so he was.
CDC.
Nobody knew who he was until COVID came along, and then boom, he's the #1 expert in the country that everybody's looking to. But the point is, he said, Anthony Fauci, originally, that this came from the COVID virus I'm talking about, came from bats in the wild in China. Okay. And that's what he believed. Okay. But he didn't want to, but later, you guys, again, he admitted or said that, yes, it's quite possible it came privately. He was saying the Wuhan lab, which I think everybody knew this came from a lab. Okay, this escaped from a lab. This didn't come from bats in the wild. So, Fred, comment on that. Then Frank. Then go ahead, Wesley. What was his title?
Director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases.
That's what he was in charge of. Go ahead, Fred.
So when the Republicans got this diary from his computers, his work computers, there was great inconsistency, as you pointed out, between what he was saying officially at the time and what he was saying to his friends.
Yes, colleagues, even.
So that's why he was subpoenaed to come before Senator Rand Paul, Dr. Rand Paul, chairman of the Homeland Security.
And they're tight.
Yeah.
Anthony and Rand.
Yeah.
They're
no Christmas presents.
They hang out, they golf, they fish.
So
they may have at one point, but not anymore.
So Anthony Fauci shows up with 2 lawyers and reads the statements, has been pointed out, but then from that point on, he takes the fifth because he knew he was going to be questioned about his entries into that diary. But it got a little ridiculous at some points. Who was the Republican senator? Said, what color's your tie?
That was Josh Hawley.
Josh Hawley. What color's your tie?
Yeah.
Fauci, I take the fifth.
Right.
On the advice of my lawyer, I take the fifth.
Oh, on the color of his tie?
Yeah. What color's the carpet? On the advice of my lawyer, I take the fifth. He was made to look like a fool.
Yeah.
Right.
The sad thing is, despite that being really good television, a lot of television networks that have news outlets just completely ignored.
Well, they're fans of Anthony Fauci.
Sure.
They're if it makes him look bad, they're not going to cover it. That's what Aaron Rodgers was talking about, Frank, right there.
Yeah, well, the Babylon Bee has the right headline. Here's the headline. Fauci starting to think that maybe keeping a daily perjury diary was a bad idea.
Good diary.
Yeah.
But here's kind of the macro sort of 30,000 foot view of this. When Fauci says he's science, what he's forgetting is that science doesn't say anything. Scientists say things. And what he and Francis Collins did is they tried to censor scientists who had a different opinion. Why do I say science doesn't say anything scientists do? Because all data needs to be gathered and all data needs to be interpreted. And who interprets the data? Scientists do. Science doesn't say a word. There's no such thing as a personality to science. Science is just a term we use where human beings take initiative to create hypotheses, run experiments, and gather the data and come up with a conclusion. And censoring people who disagree with you is not how science is supposed to run. Science is supposed to be open to peer review and correction by other people. And what Collins and Fauci tried to do was shut that whole thing down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what most people were angry about was this. Most people I know is that 2 or 3 things happened. That one is that the medical community combined with the scientific community and the news media and the big social media, they wanted to promote one response, one to the COVID virus. Number one is you have to get the vaccine when it came out.
Yep.
And if you didn't, you were killing people. Okay, that was never true. And this vaccine, as Frank pointed out, which wasn't a true vaccine, okay, as even Joe Biden said, it doesn't stop people from getting COVID and it doesn't stop you from spreading COVID. So I'm going like, what's the point? But if the vaccine would have been rolled out and said, get it, this is available, it might help, get it if you want to. Okay, this is America. Then I think everybody had been fine with it. But when they started that whole conglomerate of groups I just mentioned a few minutes ago, and including the federal government, just started jamming that down your throat that if you didn't get this vaccine, which was rushed to market, then you're an
evil person.
You're an evil person. You're a bad person. And you know what, military? You don't get this COVID vaccine shot, we're kicking you out of the military. Remember when that happened?
Hey, whatever happened to my body, my choice?
Yeah.
Well,
whatever happened to that? Now, in this case, it makes sense because there's only one body. In the case of abortion, there are 2 bodies, and you don't kill the person inside you for some sort of choice, but you do have a choice about taking a vaccine because that just affects you. And yet people were out there saying, you need to take this.
We all know people who lost their jobs, their livelihood, because they wouldn't take this experimental.
People miss weddings, funerals. People jobs were small businesses were shut down.
Yeah. While big box stores could stay open. Wasn't that weird? But here's the other thing. I knew we were, first time I heard Anthony Fauci's name was when he double talked on the mask.
Mm-hmm.
This
was around February, March of that year.
February or March of that year, he said, masks don't work against this virus. Yeah. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And he was right about that. When he said that. Then 2 or 3 weeks later,
that's it.
He said, mask up, everybody. And you're going like, well, wait a minute. Which is it? You're the number one guy, and you've flip-flopped in 2 or 3 weeks here on this. It may not have been that timeline, but it was close to it. So the bottom line is this fella is got no credibility, even though the liberal media still tries to prop him up.
And this
you take the Fifth Amendment 111 times. Go ahead.
And this whole conversation stems from the fact that he's already been pre-pardoned.
Yeah, Biden pardoned him.
Yeah.
Pardoned him. Here's one other thing about this, and I don't care if you work for a Republican administration or Democrat administration. If you are a public employee paid and your salary is paid for by the government, particularly in this case the federal government, in my opinion, you should not have the right to plead the Fifth Amendment.
That's right.
Because if you want to say I don't want to answer that question, say I'm not going to answer that question, but you are accountable for your actions to the people of the country because your salary is being paid. You can't just hide, in my opinion, behind the Fifth Amendment, because the Fifth Amendment said when you plead the Fifth Amendment, you're saying, you know what, I did something criminal, and I don't want to tell you about it.
And the pre-pardon thing, too. What did he do wrong to have to be pardoned from?
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Frank, can you hold on just a minute?
Sure.
Okay, Frank Turek with us. We'll be back momentarily.
It's my turn. Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? Well, I saw him in the face of a small child whose smile and laughter reminded me of the happiness and joy that comes from trusting a God who loves us. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in the golden leaves of autumn, which fall each year and blossom each spring. I heard him in the rustling of the grass and in the song of a robin redbreast. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in the person of a teacher who loved his students. I saw him struggling to teach so that the student could have a better life. I saw him toil on in his labors, underpaid and often unappreciated. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in the compassion of a doctor who was working with God to heal a patient. I saw him with his skills and knowledge as he helped relieve some of the suffering of a broken humanity. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in the love of a father who was sweaty and tired from a hard day's work. I saw him work so that his family could have a house where they could make a home. I saw him work so that his children could get a good education. I saw him work so that the woman he loved could have a few of life's luxuries. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in the person of a minister who wept with the family at the loss of a loved one, who joyed with a young couple at the birth of their first child, and who prayed for love which he could pass on to those with whom he came into contact. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in a public official who was elected to office by the people. I saw him as he tried to do his best in a society which often accepts and fosters crookedness. I saw him as he struggled to make a decision, knowing that whatever decision he made would help some and hurt others, would be praised by some and condemned by others. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in an ex-convict who was trying to make a new start in life. I saw him as his past life followed him everywhere he went. I saw him as he tried to start over, and no one was interested in giving him the chance. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in a person, any person, every person, who reached out his hand to help another. I saw him as people overcame the difference of race and creed, education, status, in order that they could help another. I saw God today. Where did I see him, you ask? I saw him in the symbol of a cross. It reminded me of his great love for us. He loved us so much that he sent his only Son into our world to save us. His Son died for us even when we weren't worth dying for. I saw him on the cross, and I heard his prayer forgiveness for those who put him there. So you see, I saw God today. You say you've never seen him? You can, my friend, if only you will look for him.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Hello, Tim Wildmon here, President of American Family Association and American Family Radio. Hey, maybe you've heard some of my other announcements about our tours in March 2027. We are going to Greece and we're going to Italy. 2 separate tours, but you can do both if you want to. The first tour is called The Footsteps of Paul, which will be going to many of the places covered in the book of Acts that happened in Greece. The other tour is Italy, and one of the places we're going to be going is Venice. And we're going to ride the gondola that Paul took on his trip to Venice. You can read about that in the Bible too. I'm just kidding. But you can call it a gondola or gondola, I don't care. But if you want to go on one of our tours in 2027, go to tours.afa.net. That's tours.afa.net.
Sitting down, Jesus called the 12 and said, "Anyone who wants to be first must be the very last and the servant of all." Mark chapter 9, verse 35.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Wesley, Fred, and Chris, and Frank's joining us now. Frank Turek from North Carolina. I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist is the name of Frank's radio show, which is heard Saturdays and Sundays right here on American Family Radio. So if you want to hear Frank's show this weekend, Saturday, tune in at 9 a.m. Central Time, and Sunday at 4 p.m. or Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Time right here on American Family Radio. The very popular radio show, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. Hey, Frank, you got a new book out. Talk about it.
Yeah, it's called The War on Reality. You know, there's a war on reality. There's a war on identity. There's a war on God. There's a war on biology. There's a war on economics. People actually think that Marxism and socialism are a good thing now. I don't know about you. I haven't noticed anybody getting on rickety boats in Florida to get to Cuba. Have you?
No, Cuba's
Hold on, let me think about that for just no.
Cuba's power's out, by the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, the power's out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what the communist/socialist Marxist utopia of Cuba is like, or how about the old Soviet Union?
Yeah.
I mean, what are people thinking? They're not. That's the problem.
Yeah, but that's socialist done wrong though. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah. Because if we could only do it right with the right people.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's the name of the book? Because I want people to buy it.
It's called The War on Reality: Recovering Truth in a World That Celebrates Lies. In fact, this weekend we're going to talk about it with my co-author Phoenix Hayes. And if people pre-order the book, we're going to send them the first chapter or the chapter 10 on Marxism, what we're talking about right now, for free. They just got to go to thewaronreality.com, thewaronreality.com, and we're going to send it to them. And this book also has some fun stuff in it, too, because you can't be, when you're covering these kind of heavy, depressing topics, you got to make it at least some. You got to put some fun in there. So there's some fun in the book as well, because our joyous ride to dystopia can be very depressing without a little levity. So we've got some levity in the book.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, listen, look forward to reading the book, and also I just got it in the mail a couple days. So you got it. It's a physical book, but it's also what you mentioned a virtual or something.
Well, it comes out September 8th, but. The thing, we want people to pre-order it, not because we make a lot of money on books, as you know, you don't. But when people pre-order the book, non-Christian bookstores keep an eye on the pre-orders. And if a book is doing well in pre-order, what happens is they go, you know what, we probably ought to get some copies of this for our bookstore. So in other words, we're getting the book in front of non-Christians, which is what we want to do, because the gospel is all through it. So if people pre-order the book at Amazon or wherever you get books, then it'll
That's what
help
hurt
us.
me in my singing career. I had no pre-orders. And when that happened, a lot of the music stores wouldn't order
They wouldn't cover Tim
they wouldn't
Wildmon
order my
live
record.
at the Fillmore?
And this was back in the 70s and 80s when I was my high-profile years for my singing career.
There's a lot of competition back then, though, too.
Well, yeah, John Denver, James Taylor.
Yeah.
I was trying to break in during that era, and it was tough. It was tough. All right, Frank, take care, my friend.
Thanks for having me on, and
All right.
I'll see you guys this weekend. The War on Reality.
All right, thank you.
See you.
All right, that's Dr. Frank Turek joining us from North Carolina.
Not Dr. Fauci.
Not Dr. Anthony. I'll take the fifth Fauci.
That's right.
I was saying, we were talking about this. Dr. Anthony Fauci appeared before the Senate committee, and you took the Fifth Amendment 111 times, Chris, you said?
Yes.
And I was telling you guys, I don't think you should. I'm not against the constitutional protections that the Fifth Amendment allows, which is there for a purpose, because you don't want to give testimony that may be self-incriminating. I understand the purpose and reason for the Fifth Amendment. However, this is not a criminal court hearing. Now, maybe he's under oath to give the truth, But when you are in charge, you're the number one guy, and I don't care what federal agency it is. You're the number one guy in charge of a federal agency, and your work should be transparent. And you should not be able to hide behind the Fifth Amendment. You should have to answer for what you wrote and what you said and what you did, because you're a government employee. So the idea that you can be a government, that is correct. It was a government agency, true?
Yeah. Highest paid civil servant.
Yeah. So how could you? Lois Lerner, that name rings a bell. Did this back in the, the
Biden administration.
Or Obama. It was Obama.
I mean, Obama, yeah.
Obama.
Was Biden.
She was in charge of the IRS. You remember this, and they were denying conservative groups IRS tax exempt status.
Yeah.
And it was proven. And when she was asked to defend her agency, she pleaded the Fifth Amendment. And I remember thinking, just answer the question, okay? You just say, yeah, we denied them because we thought they were a hate group. That's all you got to say. People can agree or disagree with that. But when you hide behind the Fifth Amendment, I say hide behind, when you plead the Fifth Amendment 111 times, as Anthony Fauci did, then that just screams, I'm guilty of sin, and I don't want to confess it or say it. So that's my thought. Fred, any?
No, absolutely. And for questions, like I say, it really looked ridiculous when Josh Hawley said, colors the carpet, I plead the Fifth. Colors your tie, I plead the Fifth. He lost. There were some people and there are some people who still believe he's a hero, like Dana Bash at CNN.
Yeah. We have that audio if you want to play Dana and RFK Jr.
I heard it yesterday.
Yeah.
We played it yesterday.
Yes.
I think so. What was it about RFK? I mean, was it about Anthony Fauci?
It was about COVID in general and how the media was.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. We'll hear now. What are we about to hear?
All right, so this is HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's no fan of CNN and its coverage of things like COVID, the jab, the shot.
Okay, he made an appearance on CNN.
And Fauci, yes.
And with Dana Bash?
He did.
And she asked him about Anthony Fauci or about COVID?
Well, they got into it over Fauci and COVID policy and coverage from CNN and other news outlets. To which
So
he said
this is Dana versus Robert?
Correct.
Okay, let's hear it.
Clip 9.
I really want to move on, but
you were saying
yes, I
were
do.
part of the problem.
No, I wasn't part of the problem.
There was absolute press malpractice.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you are.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Wow.
That was we had to edit that down.
Oh,
that's called a takedown.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah. What he was saying, what RFK Jr. was saying there, CNN.
Right. And the mainstream media.
You're supposed to be journalists.
Yeah.
You're supposed to question when a government official makes a declaration. They didn't. They were lapdogs for the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Who was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Was it Jake Tapper? Jake Tapper went and had dinner sometimes with Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
All right. They were buddies.
Yeah.
Let's go have dinner together and we'll talk about what the story's going to look like.
Jake Tapper was the same guy that excused Biden's mental problems.
Yeah.
And then went on to write a book about how Biden had covered it up and, misled the media.
Yeah.
So people were joking that Tapper, after the Fauci
there's a
hearing,
reason people don't trust the liberal media.
Yeah.
There's a reason. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. right there just laid that episode out very well on the COVID. And wow. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. That's the name of the show, Today's Issues. Tim, Wesley, Fred, and Chris. Chris, bring forth the next story.
Well, it was interesting that we had Frank on to get into things like communism and socialism, because today in Michigan there is a Democratic Senate primary between a communist and a big government socialist liberal, and the winner of this Democratic primary is going to face Republican Mike Rogers for the U.S. Senate. President Trump weighed in on this situation yesterday in about an hour-and-a-half long press conference from the Oval Office. Here's Donald Trump, clip 3.
I think he's going to be a great senator. But you have a communist versus a socialist. That's the way I look at it. You have a communist versus a socialist. It looks like the communist is leading. We're talking about for the Democrat primary. But for the Republican, you have a very good man, and he should be able to win.
I got to tell you, I think it may be too soon to just predict somebody is going to win something based on the bizarre fanaticism that some people have for Democratic Socialists, because Bernie Sanders, who's not a Democrat, but for some reason they let him decide how the party's going to run things. Bernie Sanders is out there saying that this El Sayed fella, Abdul El Sayed, the socialist communist running for Senate there, that he's able to appeal to both sides. And he's going to, speak to all young people about affordability and things like that.
Both sides being the communists and the socialists?
Oh, well, according to Bernie Sanders, El Sayed is going to be able to reach Republicans.
Well, Bernie's kind of losing touch with reality.
Well, I would,
but anyway, here's the thing. There is a U.S. Senate race. There are many of them across the country coming up in November. Michigan, I don't remember the last time Michigan had a Republican senator. Can you look that up?
I will. I got you.
Because this is important. The Democrats are they're going to the polls to possibly elect for their nominee one of the squad type members, the far lefty, these Madani types.
DSA, Democrat Socialists of America.
And if they do that tomorrow, there's a really good chance that the Republican, what's the gentleman's name?
Mike Rogers.
Mike Rogers will win. That's what Trump was talking about right there. Go ahead.
Well, for a Republican to win in Michigan,
Michigan's purple, purple to blue, statewide.
For a Republican to win a seat, like a Senate seat in a purple state like Michigan, he or she is going to need everybody and their brother to vote outside of the big cities.
And they're going to need a bad candidate for the Democrats, and that's what may happen.
Right.
Did you find out the answer to my question?
Spencer Abraham was the last Republican U.S. Senator from Michigan. He served a single term from 95 to 2001.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Since then, they've had Democrats.
Yep.
So you could almost call Michigan a blue state, honestly.
Yeah.
But I only call it purple because the west side of the state has normal people.
Yeah. It's similar to Minnesota. If you, on an election night, if you were to zoom in on the state of Minnesota, it's red outside of the big blue cities.
Detroit, Detroit,
Ann Arbor.
But if you get over to the western part of Michigan, I said that's where a lot of conservatives.
That's where we go for our AFA events.
Yeah, Grand Rapids area.
Nice.
But it'll be interesting to see. If the Republicans can pull off a upset, I would call it an upset in the sense that Democrats have been the senators representing Michigan for, 2 decades almost?
Yeah.
Something like that now. So we'll see what happens there. But
yeah, Democrats are so concerned about this election that the outgoing Democratic senator who said he was going to stay out of it endorsed Haley Stevens a few weeks ago when it looked like this El Sayed guy, the Democratic Socialist, was going to beat her. And he's still leading comfortably in several polls.
Yeah. You're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Next story, Chris.
All right. Let's do this. There are a lot of people in New York City and other parts of the country that think it's wrong to require ID to vote. But somebody
it's racist.
Oh, sure it is. Sure is.
Absolutely. Racist to the core to ask for a driver's license to vote.
It's Jim Crow.
Yeah.
It's Jim Crow. It's awful.
Yeah.
You should allow anybody to vote who wants to vote. It doesn't matter they should not have to have any ID. That's otherwise.
They should be able to represent their dead family members too, and vote twice.
Right. So that's the view of that's the view of many Democrats, including in New York City.
Yes.
And but what, Chris?
Yeah. Well, if you want to buy apples from the government-owned grocery store in the Big Apple now, people like Mayor Zoran Mamdani want you to show an ID to be able to buy groceries from the grocery store.
Wait a minute. I thought he's against having to show an ID to
Well,
vote.
that's different, Tim. That's different.
But if you go to his government-run grocery store, by the way, have those things opened yet?
Oh, yeah, he's opening them. Yeah, this is where
are
the
they
soundbite
opened
comes
yet?
They're in the process of opening.
Yes, they're working on it.
Some of them are.
Okay. The reason I distinguish between working on it and actually open is when they actually open, they're not going to work. Okay.
That's right.
They're going to probably close them within 2 weeks or a month, because free stuff for everybody doesn't work. But the irony here we're pointing out is these Democrats in New York and other places who are against voters having to have an ID to prove they are who they say they are. When it comes to their government-run grocery store in New York City, they don't. They're saying you're going to need an ID.
Correct.
I'm just trying to explain this for him. I guess he would say, because if we don't do it that way, illegal people are going to.
He doesn't believe in illegal people.
I know he does.
Okay.
But if the illegal people use the food, then that's going to take away from his plan to feed American citizens. For
I just think it's discriminatory.
I'm trying to figure out why he would do it.
I just think it's absolutely discriminatory to require a ID for food. And also, I think that what you need to do is just have the store and open the doors for all people. I don't even think you need any management in there.
No.
You just need to throw the food in there.
I wouldn't even have a check-in, check-out.
And just let people go for it. And, I'm sure that these people will be in line and be organized and
take just what they need.
Yes, and they will be polite to one another. If you just open the doors and say, y'all come, and get your Campbell's soup and your, you know what I'm saying? Don't you think that's going to be
Frosted Flakes?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So this is some audio from the mayor and others that were at this announcement.
Zoran? Is this Zoran?
It's Zoran and others.
Mandami?
Zoran and his minions.
Okay. What are they answering here?
Well, they're asked a question about the grocery stores, and you'll hear Zoran and his official that he tosses to talking about how they're going to show an ID or require something like a library card.
Okay.
Clip 12.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically, and is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G-Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers.
So they're going to require something like a library card-esque plan.
Hold on a second. Man, I don't know if it's my hearing or I can't understand New Yorkers, but what did she say?
We're going to require a library card-esque type thing to be able to buy groceries from the store. So they have to show ID. Just like you would hand the library your library.
So you got to have they don't know what they're doing. they don't know what they're doing. That was not let's listen to this answer again. First of all, Zoran Mandami, the mayor, he's getting good at being mayor now because he said, I'm going to pass it over. Did you hear that?
That's what Bert does to Alex.
What he's saying, yes, that's right. He's saying, I got a question I can't answer, so I'm going to pass it over. And so here, let's hear. This is he does it well right here. Listen to him. And then this young lady, I assume it's a young lady.
It is.
I can hardly follow her sentences, but I'm going to try to listen carefully here. Go ahead, please.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically, and is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G-Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers.
What she's saying is we don't know. She's saying we don't know how we're going to stop this. We're going to try to issue them a library-esque card. Is that what she said? Yep. Well, okay, my point is here, if we're still thinking through how this thing's going to work on a real life practical level, then it ain't going to work. Okay, No. Because otherwise, he needs to say we're going to push this back a year till we can figure out how to keep people from getting free stuff who don't need it. That's what they're going to. That's what they need to do. Because when and also, where does he get the idea of resale?
Oh, I can explain that.
Okay, before I get to that question, because I don't think the idea is resale in so much as you're going to have people going in there getting free stuff and free food. And who doesn't want free food? I mean, most everybody's going to go in there in New York, not most everybody, but probably half the population is going to want to get in there. And so they're not going in there to get Frosted Flakes to go down the street and resell them.
Yeah.
They're going in there to get free stuff because it helps their pocketbook. Go ahead.
Correct. So the thing that they're talking about at resale, the concern from some people is that folks outside of New York City might come to New York City to get free or discounted grocery items.
Not with these gas prices.
And then go out on the street with a card table and sell the stuff they got for nothing or next to nothing. That's the resale. That's the resale.
Also,
concern.
if you own a grocery store or in New York, what's called a bodega, which is a convenience store, basically, most of us know. They're on all the city blocks here in New York, and you're trying to sell groceries, and then Mondami, the mayor, opens up a free store. Y'all come get it, and you're trying to compete with free stuff. That's going to hurt your business. It seems to me.
And those are immigrant-run bodegas. The vast majority of bodegas.
Don't we already have government programs for food for people who are poor and needy? Don't we? SNAP and all that. Don't we already have that?
Yeah. But here's the thing with regards to your comments about bodega owners. One of Mamdani's people was asked about this a week or so ago. Well, and the response was this: well, some people will suffer from our decision but it's more important that
That's the answer?
That was the answer. Some people will suffer. So too bad for you, bodega owner. But we think this grocery store over here run by us is more important.
Yeah. I could see a potential class action lawsuit being brought by, let's say, the bodega.
It already is.
Okay.
Well, actually, in this case, it's the building owners that have launched a lawsuit because he came up with this edict, a couple of weeks ago. They're going to dox people who own 2 homes in New York.
Oh,
You're not allowed to do that. So we're gonna publish publicly who you are and your address.
The mayor's office is going to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
He boasted about it on X.
Yep.
Wow.
He told property owners to check their mailbox
What
because there was
country is
something
this
in there
taking
for
place
him.
in?
Well, these New Yorkers voted for this guy.
They did. They did.
Now some people say, and I saw the surveys where native New Yorkers did not vote for him. They voted for Cuomo.
Very true.
Another winner. But there, what's the fellow's name? Cuomo wasn't. It was
Eric Adams was the other one.
No, but what's Cuomo's first name? Because there's 2 of them.
Andrew.
Chris's brother.
Andrew,
the former governor. Right.
Mario was their dad.
Yeah. Super Mario was their
Super.
uncle. Did you know
It's
this?
me, Mario.
Yeah, it was.
That guy.
What a story.
He was a plumber.
Yes, he was. All right. We will be back with more of today's issues in 5 minutes after the news. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
So it says, to one, we are the fragrance from death to death. To the other, the fragrance from life to life. And so for those that are ready to accept God's call, you are that smell of life. You are literally bringing life into places of darkness.
Ann Cockrell and Kendra White discuss how to discern God's calling on their podcast, Hannah's Heart, at afr.net/podcasts.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche is one step closer to becoming the nation's top law enforcement officer. David Spunt reports his nomination has passed a key committee.
This was the Senate Judiciary Committee. They just voted 12 to 10. 12 Republicans, all Republicans voted to advance Todd Blanche's nomination to the full Senate floor, which will happen later this week. So Todd Blanche has now advanced out of committee to become the Attorney General. He still needs to go to the full Senate floor. That will happen later this week.
Michigan officials say 2 people have died in a massive cyclospora outbreak, the first deaths from the parasite reported in the U.S. Jonathan Seri has more.
State health officials say the 2 patients had significant underlying health conditions that may have been impacted by the foodborne parasite and dehydration. Michigan health officials say the 2 patients who died became ill prior to a voluntary recall of iceberg lettuce grown in central Mexico, which federal health officials suspect but have yet to prove is tied to more than 1,900 cases in 9 states. But that's just the largest of multiple clusters across the country. According to the CDC, 45 states are reporting laboratory-confirmed cyclosporiasis, with more than 6,700 confirmed cases and more than 11,000 additional suspected cases.
Michigan Representative Debbie Dingell stated on Fox News that she will endorse the entire Democratic ticket and support whichever candidate wins the primary, even one who calls for the destruction of Israel. She was pressed on this by Fox's Bill Hemmer.
Just in the last month, Syed has said Israel should not exist as a Jewish state. I've known you. Hang on. I've known you a long time. Can you support that? And if so, how?
No, I categorically won't support that. Israel has a right to exist.
Then how can you endorse him if he is the candidate in November?
I will endorse the entire Democratic ticket because I know what's at stake, Bill.
Officials are warning that Iran is targeting water treatment systems in the U.S. with cyber attacks. Jennifer Griffin has more.
Minnesota has reported attacks on roughly 30 water systems, while Michigan has confirmed 9 incidents, 7 states in total. The FBI has warned that Iranian-affiliated cyber actors are targeting internet-connected industrial control systems used by U.S. critical infrastructure, including water and wastewater facilities. But until this point, the White House has tried to avoid blaming Iran. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, warned Thursday it is seeing, quote, a significant increase in cyber threat actors, adding that the activity has resulted in boil water notices and sustained manual operations.
While the midterms continue to loom, both Republicans and Democrats have started to try and gauge their options to try and win the White House in 2028. Here's Caleb Castile with more.
The loser of the 2024 election, Kamala Harris, spoke in Nashville on Friday about if she planned to run in 2028. She said that she has yet to decide and is, quote, fully and sincerely focused on the midterms. New York Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez seemed shocked on the Majority Report with Sam Sider about the latest polling data for the Democrats in 2028. Polling data obtained by Fox News shows AOC at the top of the list with 22% support. One of the more shocking revelations is former Vice President Harris in 6th with only 5% support. Antoine Seawright, Democratic strategist, went on Fox News to dismiss any claims of chaos inside the DNC.
When you get downstream and you get off K Street and you focus on Main Street and my street where elections are won, not too many people care about what's happening at the DNC.
The Republican strategist Tim Parrish seemed to disagree with Seawright, saying that Democrats putting AOC on the ballot in 2028 would be a, quote, answered prayer.
My prayer is that she is the candidate because that'd be a great day for the Republican Party and for America, in my opinion.
The GOP poll came back showing 36% support for Vice President J.D. Vance and 26% support for Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Parrish expressed confidence that both men were fit to lead the nation.
I will tell you that both of them are eminently qualified gentlemen who are, I think, ready to serve as President of the United States on day one.
I'm Caleb Castile.
More news online at afn.net and the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty P.
AFA Action takes attacks on the family seriously. The enemies of the family constantly employ new tactics to try to sneak past our radar. They know if we stand together, their evil plans will fail. Your gift to AFA Action allows us to stay vigilant against their onslaught. And if you give this month, you'll receive access to the Cultural Institute video When Your Faith is Illegal by Frank Harbor on AFA Stream as our thanks. You can make your gift today at afaaction.net.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Wesley, Fred, now Steve Paisley Jordahl joins us. Good morning, Brother Steve.
Hey, everybody.
So I got $21 in my pocket, and I don't know why.
Oh.
That's a country song, isn't it?
Somewhere, yeah.
I don't know why I have this. Anyway, I guess it's better to have $21 than to not.
I suppose.
The way I look at life.
Unless you were supposed to spend it
Well,
on
I don't
something
know.
you forgot
I don't know
what
if
it was
my
supposed
wife
to be.
Allison gave it to me for a particular reason.
That's what I'm thinking.
Which I didn't
make note of.
Yeah, that's not. Huh?
Don't you listen to me?
Oh,
That's a very specific
Steve, you sound like you've been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
Okay. And husbands everywhere raise their hands. Yeah. Been there, done that. So anyway. All right, so joining us right now, we're going to get an update on the Truth for Youth Bible campaign that we're holding this week. And joining us to do this, wanted to check in with Tim Todd in West Monroe, Louisiana, at the headquarters of Revival Fires International Ministries. And Tim and his team there spearhead this, and we help promote it. And together we get thousands and thousands of Bibles out each time this year, because this is back to school time for a lot of people, the first, second week in August. Tim, you there?
Yes, I am, Tim. Good to hear from you.
So you made it back home safe and sound?
Yes, sure did. And phones are ringing and seeing great results.
Okay. So for those who don't know, most people do know if they listen to American Family Radio, we are giving free Bibles to teenagers across America. You heard me right. There's no strings attached in terms of we're not collecting your email. Nobody's going to call you. We don't have timeshares that we're going to push. Nothing like that. Okay, this is straight up free Bibles for if you have a teenager and you're a parent or grandparent, but this teenager says that they will give one of these copies of these Bibles away, which are the Word of God, and they're the New Testament. New Testament, and there's comic strips relating to topics that are relevant to teenagers today. Okay, and giving them a biblical answer. But it's the New Testament, and we are giving those away free if your young person will commit to giving it to somebody another kid who doesn't know the Lord. I got that straight, Tim?
That is correct. And we have got a goal this year, Tim, of 65,000. And as of yesterday evening, we were at 9,780. So we are off to a great results for the response for the first day.
Okay, so if you're listening to me right now and you have someone you know, a child or a grandchild, or maybe even somebody you know at church that will give this Bible away to another young person. Many, many, many young people over the years have been born again, given their life to Jesus Christ because they've read one of these Bibles. So we're telling you, you can order right now. I'm going to let Tim give the phone number, And when you get this phone number and you call and order this Bible, or you can order 2 or 3, based on how many children or grandchildren you have, or if you want to order a case of these, they're available for $2 each. Tim gives them at his cost. So you want to order 50 Bibles in a case? They come in 50, Tim?
Yes, 50
Okay.
Bibles to a case.
Okay, so the boxes have 50 in them. And so, Tim, that's easy to ship out there from West Monroe, Louisiana to anywhere in the country. So if you want to order, that's $100 for the 50. Tim, give that number away that rings you guys' offices there in West Monroe.
Great. It is 1-800-733-4737, 800-733-4737, or they can order online at tfy.org. tfy.org.
That's short for Truth for You, so tfy.org. We want to hopefully go over 10,000 before noon today, Bibles, and onward to that 65,000 goal, which would be a record for us. Now, together, Revival Fires and American Family Association, American Family Radio, over the last 25 years, Tim?
Yes, this is the 26th year.
All right, how many Bibles total have we been able to distribute in that time period?
Way over 1 million, and we've received decision cards from more than 30,000 young people that have given their life to the Lord.
After reading that Bible?
Yes.
Wow. Praise God. And the ripple effect. Go ahead.
Yeah, those graphic novels have got the plan of salvation in each one of them.
Yeah.
And so they read those comics and respond, and just tremendous response.
The National Truth for Youth Bible Week right here on American Family Radio. All right, Tim, take care, my friend. We appreciate you being on with us, and maybe we'll visit with you tomorrow.
Yes, appreciate your partnership, Tim, and thankful for everything God is doing through this project.
Amen. Thank you. That's Tim Todd joining us from West Monroe, Louisiana, where his ministry is based out of. It's called Revival Fires International. Steve, what do you got?
I just can I tell my favorite Tim Todd story?
Go.
The weekend that they shut everything down because of COVID, Tim Todd, of course, makes his living going around and speaking at different venues, and every one of his speeches and
he's a traveling evangelist.
Every one of his evangelistic meetings got canceled. So he goes down and he buys a handful of $10 gas cards and goes down to the gas station and decides he's going to go ahead and he'll give you $10 worth of gas if you let me share the gospel with you.
Wow.
Evangelism's going to evangelize.
That brother has reached so many people with the message of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So we just praise God for Tim Todd and his ministry.
Anthony Fauci's back on the Hill today. We didn't know about this. It's a surprise thing. But
we beat him up pretty good last hour.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just want to dive into a live hearing to see if he's changed his tactic at all. I'm not sure if he has. Channel 18, I think, is where he's at.
There are so many amendments in the Constitution of the United States of America. I can only choose one. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, 5. Go ahead, ask me a question.
Did you? Yeah, he hasn't, apparently. He's still pleading the fifth.
Oh, wow. Did you get that? Where'd you find that?
That's funny.
That was Dave Chappelle.
Okay. That unrelated. Was he talking about Anthony Fauci, or was he
No,
just,
that was
just
an
a
old
skit
from his. Yeah, he was playing a drug dealer in Congress.
I got you.
That's well played.
Okay,
you definitely surprised us on that.
Yeah.
One.
All right. In Spokane, Washington, authorities have arrested a 37-year-old man that they suspect of starting one of at least three devastating wildfires that are burning around in the south part of the state. Spokane is the second largest city in the state of Washington. And they have arrested 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci. and they have booked him on suspicion of arson. Its connection with one of the fires, the Old Trails fire, being held on $1 million bond. The fires combined so far, 700 structures destroyed, 67,000 people have had to evacuate.
Brad, did you see this story? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is just one of the 3 fires out there.
In the state of Washington?
In the state of Washington, the eastern side of the state of Washington. If you go to afn.net, I put up a video of some of the devastation out there. It's just heartbreaking. Some people are being allowed to go back to where the fires were, and when they arrive, all they see is the chimney of their house. That's it. And fires do not discriminate. The elderly have lost their homes. And some young families, they've lost their homes. The only bright spark coming out of this, pardon the use of spark, is that no one has died yet. There's no report of anybody losing their lives. They evacuated. The officials did a really good job getting in, warning people, fire's on the way, we're getting you out right now. But I think it was at one point 65,000 people were evacuated from there. But 700 structures destroyed. So that's houses. And what a lot of people forget, many times it's businesses also. So you might lose your home, and you also might lose the place where you work.
What about hospitals and nursing homes and things like that?
Part of the structures many times. So yeah, this is horrible, what's going
now,
on.
Why is it that you guys have lived out west? Why is it we don't experience wildfires to this extent in the southern part of the United States? Well, even in the Midwest, they don't. Is that because there's lack of rainfall?
Well, that's part of it. There's the weather is conducive to it. There's a lot of drought oftentimes, but there is just a lot of ground. There's a lot of open area with fields with grasses and trees and forests.
Far away from the closest fire station.
Right, a lot of stuff to burn.
Yeah.
And
there's so much open space.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize, because they hear about Seattle weather, for instance, they get a lot of rain.
Right.
But the thing is, the air off the Pacific Ocean picks up moisture. The storms dump most of the moisture on the western side of the mountains. So when those systems get on the eastern side, they're dry. They don't get the rain. You almost have sometimes desert conditions on the eastern side. So you get to this time of the year, it's very dry. It doesn't take much to start a fire. A lightning storm can start a fire.
Yeah, because the storms will keep the lightning striking.
Well, and also like you guys are talking about here, and Wesley, what you're pointing out too is out west, there are vast expanses of land that they don't have fire departments out in the middle of Wyoming or Idaho or eastern Washington or Oregon. Not a lot. Now they have firefighters who come in to put out wildfires, and those and oftentimes brought in from other parts of the country when they have a major fire. But I'm just saying that whereas a lot of places, let's say east of the Mississippi, for example, are more densely populated and wetter, right? So that would explain. But this massive wildfire in Spokane, Washington, is devastating for those people out there because, as you say, it's the second largest city in the state behind Seattle. And you say 65,000 people were displaced?
67,000 have had to evacuate, according to the AP.
Where do you put 67,000 people, though? I mean, good night. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
I mean, not that they all go to the same place, but even if you go within 100 miles to find that many hotel rooms or families to stay with, and then not knowing what happens to your house, you get back and your house is not there anymore.
Yeah. We have been assigning Steve over the last couple of years covering these stories. And what we try to do is get a hold of a pastor at a church where his congregation. The story we did a couple of weeks ago, Steve, was down in southern Colorado, wasn't it?
It is. It's in Beulah, Colorado. I've got a story running today, in fact.
Yes.
And the pastor there we talked to, 60% of his congregation lost homes.
Where?
In Beulah, Colorado. It was the Aspen Acres fire. And
let me ask you this: you lived in Colorado for how many years?
15.
Okay. Did you ever have to evacuate because of a fire?
I never did, but I tell you what I did. One of the most chilling things I've ever had to do. Focus on the Family has there's a upstairs right off of Dr. Dobson's office. There's a balcony you can look out, and it looks out over the Air Force Academy and the stadium.
Right.
But it also has mountains that come right down. You can see into the city. And the one year that Mountain Shadows fire burned down, you could see the fire coming down the hill and advancing on the city.
Really?
You could just watch it, and you knew there was nothing to get in its way. And it came, and it took hundreds of homes out of the Mountain Shadows neighborhood.
Wow, and they were helpless to stop it, basically.
But you can't do anything.
I guess the winds don't help either, huh?
No. And fires, if they get big enough, can create their own weather systems.
Yes.
I've actually seen a tornado that was caused by a fire.
You've seen it with your own?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it was at the top of the Pikes Peak range, the Rocky Mountains. And this was a fire that was set by a park ranger, as it happens. And but it's clear as day. It's a tornado. Because you could see right through to the light on the other side. Just devastating.
Yeah. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Wesley, Fred, and Steve. You're listening to American Family Radio. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Steve.
Clay Travis, who is the founder of Outkick, he's a journalist, a sports journalist, and he is deciding he wants to challenge. We've been talking a little bit about the WNBA, and Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever, who is speaking out and saying that men do not belong in women's sports. And, of course, the WNBA is nothing if not woke. And so there's a big battle going on there. And so Outkick founder Clay Travis has decided to ask these ladies to put their money where their mouth is. And so he has an important announcement. He tweeted out on X, or X'd out. He says, "I am upping my offer. $10 million for a head-to-head basketball game between the defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces and a boys' high school state title team of my choice. If the Aces beat my team, I will give them $10 million. And I bet you they don't take him up on it.
Wow, that's a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
So what would be what's the counter if they lose? Who gets the?
What's the downside of doing that? $10 million.
You don't.
I tell you what, if I'm the Las Vegas Aces, I take that.
Yeah.
Because if you lose,
you're just embarrassed.
Or you just say we got beat by a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, according to Ian Miller of Fox News, he writes, obviously the Aces will not respond. Any WNBA team will not respond. The league will not respond because they know their answer. But their dedication to left-wing politics demands that they pretend otherwise. They are so committed to the Democrat Party and the Party of Science.
Travis, what's his name?
Clay Travis.
Clay Travis. I've seen him. He's on Fox News some and so forth. He's making a point that which is a great point, and that is these people who are proponents of transgendered people, that is men, boys, being allowed to play against girls and act like there's no advantage. He's saying, oh, well, put your money where your mouth is then, and let's play girls versus boys, and I'll give you the advantage by letting you have a pro girls basketball team play
your world champions,
play a boys high school team that he assembles, and let's see who wins, which everybody knows what will happen there. So you're quit saying that there's no difference between boys and girls if you're not going to take me up on this bet. That's basically what he's saying.
I think it's a very interesting challenge.
I do too.
Wouldn't it be something if the boys team for this event, hey, I feel like a girl today. You got to let me play.
That's going to happen one day, as I've been predicting. I mentioned this yesterday. This is all the people that are promoting trans being allowed to play girls' sports are only doing it in theory because they're in reality, this is what
Clay Travis
is pointing out. In reality, if you were to have let's say a male tennis, you know what I would do if I didn't have any moral values, okay, and I didn't care about what people thought about me, and I was the number 25 male tennis player in the world, I would strongly consider putting on a dress, okay, or a skirt, and just say, listen, I am declaring that I identify as a woman, and I'm going to start playing women's professional tennis. Okay, I think you could make a mint that way. Again, if you had no morals and no values and you didn't care what people thought, I'm not for this. I'm just saying if you thought, I want money, okay, I can go in and dominate the women's professional tennis circuit. Everybody will love me. I'll get commercials by companies. Why? Because
you're winning.
I'm transgendered.
Yeah.
And if you don't like me, you're a transphobe.
Yeah.
Right? I wonder, Steve, Fred, and Wesley, when I'm going to say that's going to happen sometime. Somebody's going to have dollar signs and say, you know what, I can't cut it on the men's circuit, but I can beat the girls. So I'm going to go over there and do this. I want to be on the cover of magazines. I'm going to get awards for bravery, and Bud Light's going to pay me, and I'm going to make a mint off this deal. And so somebody's going to do that. Okay, well, here's my overall point about this. At that point, then these people who say they don't have a problem with transgendered playing girls' sports, then they're going to have to say, well, I'm for him or I'm against him. And that's when they're going to be stuck, because the obvious unfairness of it will become plain for the world to see. And then then Serena Williams or others would have to say, as Martina Navratilova, the tennis legend from the 70s and 80s, has said, this is completely and totally unfair. But the people that are...
Venus Williams said the same thing.
Huh?
Venus Williams said the same thing.
She said that would be completely and totally unfair?
Absolutely. She'd lose
well, good for her.
a heartbeat.
On that issue, she's very conservative.
Good.
Yeah.
Venus or Serena or both?
I'm sorry.
One of the two.
I think it might have been Serena. It's whichever one's
well,
the better
Serena,
one.
I don't know that she came out on the trans issue, but she has said that she would be beaten by like a top 100, the best women's player in the world. She said if I had to compete against a guy, I would lose.
Yeah.
A guy who's in the top 100 in the world.
Of course.
All right. So anyway, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Yes.
But if you remember back, the example was Leah Thomas.
Oh, yeah. The guy who said he was a girl who wanted to swim against the girls.
That's right. Yep.
And he won, and then he got...
You know, and another point to be made that is clearly an advantage is that you never see it done the other way. You never see a woman say that
I want to compete against the guys.
I want to become a man and then also play men's sports.
Right. By the way, that's true.
I want to thank you, Tim, for a mental image I'm not going to be able to get out of my mind now.
How's that?
You in a dress.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even do one of those all-male beauty pageants back in the day.
Can we end
here? You remember these things?
Can we end here? There is a new women's professional baseball league. It has 4 teams: the New York Heights, the Boston Hunters, the Los Angeles Queens, and the San Francisco Fireballs. And they had an opening game, and they had the national anthem was sung. I just want to let you hear. I had to listen to it, so now you do too. This is Martha Reeves, cut 19.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
That's Martha Reeves, who used to sing with Martha and the Vandellas.
Really? Well,
wow. Yeah.
Bless her. She's seen her better days.
She's got a new album coming out, she says. Seriously, after 22 years, she's releasing an album.
Hey, well, at least they're playing the national anthem, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one way of looking at it.
Are you crying?
There's no crying in baseball.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow with more of another edition of Today's Issues right here on AFR. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Truth for Youth Bible Week going on here. What's the telephone number, Wesley?
1-800-733-4737. 1-800-733-4737.
See you tomorrow, everybody. Hello, Tim Wildmon here, President of American Family Association and American Family Radio. Hey, maybe you've heard some of my other announcements.